This short episode of the 2016 Skyrim Modding Guide touches on improved dialogue mods, namely Guard Dialogue Overhaul. Then we'll also do a quick preview of the upcoming mod Relationship Dialogue Overhaul by Clouded Truth. Hey guys, it's Cal from Dirty Weasel, and welcome back to the 2016 Skyrim Modding Guide. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about dialogue mods. And originally this was going to be all included with sounds and music, and that video was getting way too long, so I decided to break it out into just the dialogue mods that I've chosen for my load order so you can get an idea. And I'm going to give you a special preview of Relationship Dialogue Overhaul by Clouded Truth. So let's get right into it. And the first one we're going to look at today is Guard Dialogue Overhaul by Nexus, mod number 23390. This has been around for a long time, and I really like this mod because, in the original vanilla game, guards weren't very respectful to you, and a lot of their dialogue was very kind of just short and uninteresting. So this fixes it. It adds more dialogue, more realism, more respect, as the mod author mentions, and it changes the guard dialogue so it makes a little more sense as far as respect for you goes. In other words, if you are the Dragonborn for a long period of time, they'll recognize you as the Dragonborn. If you're the leader of the companions, they'll recognize you as the leader of the companions, and so forth and so on. And it unlocks an additional dialogue for guards that was never used in the vanilla game, so you'll hear some new things that you haven't heard before, and present that bug basically saying over and over, what is it? So there are certain things that guard dialogue makes some, but not all of the guard comments available to some other NPCs who share the same voices. This is done only with comments that could be reasonably considered not to be guard specific. If you don't want that feature, there is a way to do that in the console commands, but I really say just leave it in, don't worry about your console commands, and just let it go forward. There is a couple notes on this. As far as compatibility, it will be compatible with most things. And you can see all this list down here. You can even see some that I've got implemented because this is a good thing to, show this to you. So I have immersive armors, immersive weapons, so you can have compatibility with this. I'll show you where to put that in your load order, because here in load order, it talks about where to place it as far as relationship to immersive armors and immersive weapons and so forth. You need to place it after any mod that changes weapons in the game, because this is a major source of the guards not being armed with anything but daggers for whatever reason. So just remember that it is after immersive armors, but before any mod that edits Skyrim vanilla weapons or armor, such as Amidian Skyforge weapons.esp from Book of Silence and or weapons and armor fixes remade. So after immersive armors, but before any other weapons that are edited in the game, okay? That edits Skyrim vanilla weapons or armor. So that would include things like, let's say, uniques. So you got that. So just remember to read this thing and to set up your load order correctly. My voice is a little rough today. I'm not sure why. So you have all these other things right here. You can just go ahead and read all this stuff. The Skyrim dialogue bug, blah, 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 final comments. And it's pretty well documented on what you'll need to do. So we're going to scroll with this back up. And you can see under Files, you're going to need the main one, which was done back in February of 2014. Download that with Manager, and you have those. And you have all these other language packs that you can go ahead and overwrite the main files with one of these languages, okay? And there is a special note here, do not clean with TS5 Edit. Do not clean with TES5 Edit. I think that actually Loot knows not to warn you about this, but just point that out to you. So there you go. We're going to go back one, and we're going to minimize this down. And we'll go into Mod Organizer, and we will show you where this is at. So here you have a Guard Dialogue Overhaul right here. And we are going to, you can see the note right there, do not clean with TS5 Edit as a friendly reminder. We're going to double click to install, and we're going to hit Manual. And you can see we have a readme.txt. I don't need that. It has a BSA. Now, sometimes you want to unpack a BSA like in your texture mods, but in this case, I found it made no difference. You can just go ahead and leave it packed up in a BSA. It'll be perfectly fine. And then you have a ESP. Go ahead and click OK. And you can see it right down here at the bottom. We're going to just activate it to start with. And we are going to go or check our archives, make sure that guard dialogue overhaul is checked in our archive. So the BSA is being managed by Mod Organizer. And we'll check our plugins. And you can remember what we talked about is that guard dialogue overhaul. You can see in my testing, I had this up here, that, I have it below Hoth Trooper Armor Compilation. This is the Immersive Armor mod. And you can see it's below that. And it is above Immersive Weapons, Uniques, and Amidian Skyforge Weapons. And that is exactly how you want this. So, because these two, especially these two, change the vanilla weapons, you want to have guard dialogue overhaul before that, or you'll have guards with just armed with daggers. So just remember that. That's how that works. And we are going to go ahead and run loot just to make sure it works correctly. And we'll go ahead and let's see. I'm just curious. See if loot mentions. No, it says that it is perfectly fine. It doesn't have any warnings on this, so it's not going to show any dirty heads because loot is smarter than we are sometimes. We're going to sort that just to make sure it works just fine. Sorting made no changes to the load order. Okay, so we're good to go. So just like I said, remember guard dialogue overhaul after armor, the Hoth Trooper Immersive Armors, but before the ones that change the vanilla weapons, and those would be these two right there. So just keep that in mind. If you have any other ASPs that modify any vanilla weapons, that you make those changes. So there you go. There's that. And you can see over here, where is it? Right there you have Relationship Dialogue Overhaul Beta. And we'll get into that, and I will talk a bit about that and give you a little preview. As to follower dialogue mods, I have always been a big fan of dynamic follower dialogue. However, I have had the privilege of testing a new version of the mod by the same author, Clouded Truth. Its name is going to be Relationship Dialogue Overhaul. Let me just give you a quick rundown of some of its features. It will contain approximately 4,500 to 6,000 lines of voiced dialogue upon final release. All dialogue uses the same original voice types from the game. This was done by adding existing lines in new and suitable situations, as well as editing multiple lines of dialogue together to create brand new ones. Over 50 voice types will have dialogue, covering Skyrim, Dawnguard, and Dragonborn. New dialogue will be used by NPCs based on their relationship with the player. This means that merchants, innkeepers, trainers, bards, etc., and any other NPCs that offer services will not offer those services if they dislike you. And any NPCs that dislike the player may insult you or just not speak to you at all. All 42 default voice types from Skyrim can be used for follower dialogue. Any unique NPC that supports follower or spouse dialogue can be made a potential follower or spouse through Relationship Dialogue Overhaul's MCM menu. There will be new unlocked dialogue that can be heard for the first time ever. Like I said, I've been testing the beta version for a little while now, so the official release hasn't happened yet. And I agreed with Clouded Truth that I wouldn't tell you where to get those files and just wait for the official release, guys. The date for release is targeted for August, so keep an eye out and I will update this video when it is officially released with all the information on where to get it. Obviously, since Relationship Dialogue Overhaul is an enhanced version of dynamic follower dialogue by the same author, DFD is obsolete and has been removed from the Nexus. It will also replace other mods by other authors such as More Follower Voices Mod or MFVM and Follower Commentary Overhaul FCO, which was buggy as hell anyways, so you don't want to be using that. That's all I've got for now, guys. I'm going to get back to work and start working on the next video, which will be on sounds and music, and we'll get back to that soon. This video was just a little bit long, so I wanted to break this one out. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.